Welcome to this workshop on progressive assessment, specifically tailored for primary grade teachers. Over the next 2 hours, we will engage in a collaborative, hands-on session focusing on assessment, evaluation, and the effective use of rubrics within the continuous assessment system. Our agenda for today is packed into 9 blocks covering 120 minutes. We will balance short informational inputs with discussion and practical design work, including a short break midway through the session. By the end of this video, you will be able to distinguish between assessment, evaluation, and examination, compare different assessment frameworks, explain the purpose and types of rubrics, and create a simple rubric for your own classroom. Let's start with Part 1, Assessment, Evaluation, and Examination. It is important we get our core vocabulary straight before moving further. What is assessment? It is an ongoing process of gathering evidence about students' learning, skills, and progress to help teachers make informed decisions. Examples include observations, discussions, and student projects. Evaluation is the process of making judgments or decisions based on the evidence collected during assessment. While assessment observes a child reading, evaluation is the conclusion that the child is reading at an expected level. Let's put this into practice. Sort the terms on your screen into the correct categories of assessment, evaluation, or examination. You have 6 minutes for this group activity. This table summarizes the differences. Remember, you assess to know how students are learning, you evaluate to know what that progress means, and you examine to verify if specific standards are met. Continuous evaluation process moves away from relying solely on final exams. It helps reduce stress and identifies needs early. Crucially, tests are tools for instruction, while examinations are formal tools for decision-making. We continue Part 1 with a closer look at formative and summative assessment, or as we might say, checking for learning versus checking on learning. Formative assessment happens during learning to improve performance, while summative assessment occurs at the end of learning to judge achievement. Both are essential for a complete picture of student progress. There are 4 main purposes of assessment: assessment of learning, which judges achievement; for learning, which supports improvement; as learning, which develops reflection; and with learning, which promotes collaboration. It is time for a short break. Take 10 minutes to stretch and refill your tea. We will return soon to discuss the design and use of rubrics. Welcome back. We are moving into Part 2, Understanding Rubrics. We will cover what they are and why they are vital to a successful continuous assessment system. To kick things off, reflect on what a rubric is. Take 1 minute to define it yourself, 2 minutes to discuss your definition with a neighbor, and 2 minutes to share with the room. At its core, a rubric is a tool used to describe expectations and performance levels for an assessment task. It helps clarify what students are expected to learn, what quality work looks like, the different levels of achievement, and how students can improve. Rubrics matter because they benefit both teachers and students. They help teachers assess work fairly and consistently, monitor progress, and provide meaningful feedback. For students, they clarify expectations and help them become more independent learners by identifying their own strengths and areas for improvement. Every rubric is built from 3 main components: criteria, which are the specific aspects of performance being assessed; performance levels, which represent different tiers of achievement; and descriptors, which are clear statements explaining what performance looks like at each of those levels. Here is an example for reading fluency. Notice how the descriptors are observable and specific. A teacher or student can look at this and see exactly what good or beginning reading looks like, removing the guesswork from assessment. Now let's move into the different types of rubrics. We will look at analytic, holistic, and developmental rubrics and explore when each one is best suited for your assessment needs. The 3 common types serve different purposes. Analytic rubrics assess criteria separately. Holistic rubrics provide a single overall score, and developmental rubrics focus on describing growth over time. An analytic rubric breaks a task into distinct criteria, such as fluency or organization, and scores each one separately. It is ideal for complex projects where you need to provide detailed feedback on specific dimensions of quality. A holistic rubric evaluates the overall quality of work with a single score. It is quick and efficient, making it particularly useful for large-scale assessments or lower-stakes tasks where a general snapshot of proficiency is required. A developmental rubric is designed to track a student's learning progression over time, mapping growth from beginner to advanced stages. It is the perfect match for continuous assessment systems because it emphasizes ongoing improvement. Ultimately, rubrics support continuous assessment by making expectations transparent, tracking individual growth, and promoting fairness. They provide the necessary evidence to report on student achievement effectively. Before you write your own rubric, remember these guidelines. Do use clear, simple language and focus on observable behaviors. Avoid vague descriptions or including too many criteria that might confuse your assessment. We are now moving into an activity. You will engage in a gallery walk to peer review rubrics. Post your group's rubric, walk around to view others, and leave sticky note feedback regarding strengths and suggestions. To close, reflect on these questions. Consider how you currently assess learning and what changes you might make to ensure your assessments support growth rather than just measuring performance. For our final closing, share one word that captures how you feel about rubrics now and one commitment regarding a change you will try in your classroom this month. Thank you for your active participation today. We hope you leave here with practical tools to enhance your assessment practices. Thank you for joining this video. Remember, assessment helps us see what students are learning, while evaluation tells us what that progress means. By using rubrics, we make the entire process fair, clear, and transparent for everyone.